It's not giving real.
It's not given real, but it's given sickening.
Let's go.
Keeps is an online subscription service which makes it easy and more affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness from the comfort of their own home. Because hair loss really sucks. I can say for me personally, my hairline started to recede whenever I was still in high school. And I remember being like in denial about it for a long time because, you know, I had like long hair and the swoop bangs. So if you just kind of cover it up, you get to act like it's not there until it gets to a point that you can't do that anymore. And even though I get to wear wigs for a living now, I kind of prefer not to wear wigs in my day-to-day life. So I'd much rather prefer to keep the hair that I do have. And that's where Keeps comes in. So at the moment, there's currently only 2 FDA-approved hair loss treatments. And what Keeps does is they combine both of those ingredients into one 2-in-1 gel. And the treatments are actually clinically proven to work, being up to 90% effective at stopping hair loss and increasing growth by up to 35%. But you don't have to take my word for it because they've already helped almost 1 million men. And they have thousands of 5-star reviews with before and after pictures. And in addition to the hair loss gels, they also offer thickening shampoos and conditioners and styling pomades. You know, so I can keep these locks in style. And the best part is that it's super convenient and affordable because you don't have to go to medical providers or get expensive prescriptions, just affordable expert level hair care delivered to your door. So whether you're trying to stop hair loss, stimulate growth, or just maintain your hair, Keeps has you covered. Hair loss stops with Keeps. For a special offer to get started, you can go to keeps.com/MaddyMorphosis or use the link in the description. Again, that's keeps.com/MaddyMorphosis. And now, onto the video. Hi guys, and welcome back to a paradoxical episode of Give It To Me Straight. I'm your host, Maddy Morphosis, and joining me on the show today is a pioneer and trailblazer who made history as the very first openly gay contestant in RuPaul's Drag Race history, Season 13's Joey J.
What's going on? Thank you for having me. You look great.
Thank you. I'm feeling the motocross fantasy today.
Yes, it's cute. It's
I know.
cute. It took me a minute to get here. This only goes
Like 5 miles an hour.
35.
Oh,
It
35.
was very expensive,
Oh my gosh.
but it still took a minute, maybe like 16 hours.
I cannot imagine how terrifying it would be to ride that if it actually went 35 miles an hour.
It'd be stunning.
Yeah.
But you have to stop and charge it at the Tesla station.
That's true. It only has like 5 miles before it like dies. I'm really interested in your thought process though, in that, you know, Drag Race had been on for so many years. Season 13, you get on the show, you're like, you know what? I want to be the first drag queen to go on there and make being gay like my brand.
Yeah.
Like, what point did you decide that whenever you put in the audition tape? Was that how you auditioned, or did you just like once you got the call, you're like, what if I did this?
No, I've always been a and I'm surprised that no one has talked about that on the show. And when we were locked up in our chambers, in our Azkaban Courtyard Marriott with COVID,
Yeah.
we were asked to write our verse. And the first thing that came to my mind was, I'm a gay ass bitch, I'm Joey J. And I loved it. And I stuck with it. And it clicked. And I was like, I like where this is going. And I would say it in my confessionals. And then when we had to talk about how we wrote our lyrics, and I'm like, well, I'm not a singer-songwriter, but I'm gay, and gays can do anything if you put your mind to it. You don't need a degree. You just fucking wing it, because that's what we've had to do you wouldn't understand this, but that's what we've had to do our entire lives, and to just make our way through, and that's what I did on the show, and I think it worked out really, really well.
Yeah, you didn't go home first.
No, I didn't. And if Kimora Hall is getting sent home first, it's a sickening cast.
Yeah, you actually have a partner at the moment. Is he comfortable with like your sexuality?
Yes. Yeah, it's what's so funny. So we met at Pride, and we're like polar opposites. Like,
He's straight.
I guess not polar opposites, but he's like, he wears his flannel and he has his beard and he doesn't have a lisp and he has like a deep voice and he's like, oh, Drag Race, yeah, I haven't really watched it. I guess I'll watch it because you're on it though. Like,
He's like the yin to your yang.
yeah,
He balances you out. Yeah.
he tries.
Yeah, he tries. Yeah. He's as much of an anchor as he can be in the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just take that anchor.
Were you like always like the way you were, or was there ever a time where you like gave it the old college try at being straight? Like, was there a time where you weren't out?
Oh, of course. So, you know when I guess you wouldn't know this, but when you are growing up and before puberty hits, I don't know what it's like for the straights, but
I think
I
puberty's the
knew
same.
I was always looking at men and I liked it. I liked how they looked, but I didn't know why. I wasn't sexually attracted to them, like, because I didn't have puberty yet. You know what I mean? But I'm like,
Yeah.
I like how that looks. You know, all those Disney princes? Choo choo! Like, let's go.
And then puberty happened.
Puberty hits and
You
you're
said,
like,
something has changed within me.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I'm like, oh, I think I like this. Is this good? Is this bad? I don't know. And I just kept it to myself, knowing that I was different. And I didn't talk about it. And I'd get made fun of because I had like feminine mannerisms and I had a high voice. And I would just get bullied and beat up and whatever. And then senior year, I'm like, I'm never going to see these people again in a few months. So I started talking to some of my friends and I'm like, I think I'm gay.
But like in school itself, you hadn't like come out.
No.
So you were just walking around telling everyone this was a straight person.
Yes. That's freshman year, girl.
Yeah, you're like, like, no, I'm straight.
Yes. She's sickening, bitch.
Little-
I'm so proud of her.
She came far.
Keep going, you little bitch.
For people in high school telling you were gay, because like a lot of people that I've had on my show have had the similar experiences where they're like, I kept telling people I was gay, and they kept saying I was, and then sure enough,
God. I remember there's one conversation, and I think I was in like grade school, maybe like third or fourth grade, and you know how like you were Team Jacob or you were Team Edward. So before that, it was, are you Team NSYNC or are you Team Backstreet Boys? That was like our big one, and I was like, I love NSYNC. And all the girls were like, oh my God, they're so cute. They're so cute. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, Justin Timberlake is so cute. And they would all like,
but in a
music
cool way.
stops, record player noise. Everyone turns their head. Because the clothes, they're so cute, right? Like, yeah. And that's how I would make it so I wasn't gay. I like wasn't sexually attracted to these people, but I just liked it. But I had to hide the fact.
You just had pictures with hearts around it in your locker, but you're like, I just think he looks cool. Like, goals.
I had a picture of David Archuleta in my locker.
You were this kid. Just to revisit.
But not yet.
You were
senior year I did, but not
well, this is the precursor, but you were like shortly after this. This is the foundation that this house was built upon. You were this kid with David Archuleta pictures in your locker, just like, no, I just I'm not gay.
No, I just like his clothes.
Yeah. It is wild. Sometimes the closet door is glass. But it's just like, it's so interesting. I wonder, was there anyone like from high school, like after like you'd gone on Drag Race, you did all this stuff, from high school that was like, hey, you probably remember from high school. I had no idea.
I've actually had a few bullies send me a message and like apologize later on, like, hey, I'm really sorry I treated you like shit.
Yeah.
Block.
No, you don't want to rekindle the relationships. Try again.
I mean, like, I don't know, Lisa. I'm happy that you're doing this for you. I'm happy that you feel better, but like,
you're not here for other people's absolution.
No, girl, like, you did what you did. Like, I wasn't driving down the street, roll down the window, and scream at me. Somebody else did. And I'm not saying I run around and I say this all the time, but it's obviously a controversial word. It's really taboo. But y'all gave me that name. So why not just take it and own it? Like, why not just be like, yeah, I am. Like, and
it was a gift.
It is a gift to all of you. Just own it and be and it's okay. And why does it have to be controversial if we just own it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you call someone out on something and they're like, yeah, then what did the bullies say then?
Like, take the power away from the word.
Exactly. So just own it. And if that's what they scream at you down the street and be like, oh, good, I'm glad you're not blind. Like, duh. You're ugly. I'm not gonna you, but
you're like someone like screams a slur at you, and you're like, oh yes, you're just making an observation.
You're like,
yeah,
yeah.
He said yes, and hopefully that song is still topical by the time this comes out. But speaking about like your sexuality, like how was your parents with everything? Because obviously your mom is a huge supporter of yours, but I don't hear a lot about like your dad. Like how are they with everything?
I don't have a father figure.
No?
And I think that's why I'm so feminine, because I've only grown up around my mom and all of her friends. The majority of them are females, so I picked up the feminine accent and the feminine hand gestures. And I think that's what I would take to school with me because that's how I grew up. That's what I saw and what I learned from. And that's probably why I got bullied. But
This is the product of someone who hangs around their mom all day watching Death Becomes Her on repeat. Like,
yes,
this is,
bitch, that's my favorite
yeah.
movie.
Is it?
The fact that on this season they're getting the little potions, gag.
Oh.
Love that.
You're envious.
But my mom is like my biggest supporter. She always has been. She would come to my shows. In fact, she says she doesn't remember this, but I remember this. So when I first told her that I am going to do drag, she said to me, love that. Just don't go out there with hog body. You watch Drag Race? That's what it's like. What? Like, how do you know what hog body is? Like, she read me.
I know, before you even started drag.
Exactly.
I feel like that your mom really was like the acclimation pool to get you ready for Drag Race, because she already gave you like the feminine aspect. She kind of built the foundation for you. She was reading you before you even threw a wig on, which didn't come until last year. But it's like she really got you ready for this.
I remember there was a show and we were getting ready. It was like I think it was like the first show I'd ever done, and my mom came into town, and I wanted to pull out all the stops. It's my first show. I've been around the drag scene for a minute, but now it's my first like drag booking, and I brought dancers. I did a mix, and I had this bra. My strap was out, and my mom was like Joey, and she's like, futzing. I'm like, stop! Like, what are you doing? And she's like, your bra strap's hanging out. I'm like, it's supposed to, Mom, and like everyone heard it.
Was she like very much like one of those moms that's like, if you're gonna do something, do it correctly, like supporting you and everything, but as long as you're doing it right? Or was she just kind of like let free range, let you do what you
whatever
want?
you want. I support it, but like,
Be safe.
yeah, be safe. Don't get in trouble. Don't go to jail. Make money.
Yeah. Oh, that's been nice. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been great.
Aside from people screaming slurs at you from moving, trucks. Other than that,
Hey, my mom's like, yeah.
Yeah.
You hear that? Own it.
So you were like always like a mama's boy? Was that like always growing up? Like you two were like inseparable, like at the hip? Or was it just
I wouldn't say I was a mama's boy. I'm an only child, but I think my mom, she was out for me to not be a spoiled mama's boy only child. Like, she was a really tough parent. She, I just remember, like, if I wanted to go to a friend's house, like, hey, like, I got all my homework done. Can I go to Ashley's house? No.
I feel like
Why?
I feel like this is conflicting with what you said earlier. Because I was like, is your mom like, if you do something, do it right? You're like, no, my mom was very do what you want, have fun, just
Now
be safe.
she is.
Oh, okay. So there was like a shift.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but like growing up living with my mom, she was so tough. Like,
From ages like 5 to 12, it was like a boot camp, and then after that, it's just
a
like
little bit.
yeah.
I did like competitive figure skating, and she put the fear of God in me. If I did anything bad, like, you will never go to the Olympics. You will never skate again. If you skip class and I find out about it, it was like, she was tough. If I wanted anything, like, you need to go get a job and pay for it. I'm not old enough to get a job. Well, you need to figure it out. Yeah, she was a really tough mom growing up, and I think it gave me a really good like foundation to go and be an adult. And now I would say she's so much more I mean, like, I'm 33 now, and like I don't live with my mother, but she definitely set me up for success into being like responsible and getting things done. And if I can't afford rent, don't ask Mom. She's not going to pay for it. Like, you need to go figure your life out. Like, no one's going to be there for you at the end of the day. Like, get it together. And I think she did a good job of that.
Can I ask like where your father was, or if you even knew your dad?
I've never met my dad.
No.
I
Did
used
you
to
know
be-
of him, or?
Yeah, I think so. Like, we did. I remember hearing a voicemail, and how old was I? I remember hearing a voicemail, and it was like, "Hey, Marcy, this is so and so," and I recognized the name, and I like didn't know what it was. I'm like, wait, I know this name. And it was my supposed like father leaving her a voicemail about, I think we did like a DNA test. And I remember going in and getting my cheek swabbed, and the test, it came back negative. And my mom's like, I know who your father is, but she's convinced like somehow he got like someone else in there, maybe with his ID or something, to take this test so he wouldn't have to have a kid, so he wouldn't have to have child support or any of that. But I'm cool with that.
It's like one of those things where it's like I'm in a similar situation that like I knew who my mom was, but like I never had that connection. Like she'd kind of pop in every now and then, but once every few years, say hi, hang out a day, and then gone. But like some people are like, oh, do you ever like miss like your mom? It's like I didn't really know her. It's like
How can
it's
you miss
hard
somebody if you
yeah.
don't know who they are?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not Harry Potter. Like,
Did you have like a male? You say you didn't have like male role models. Did you have any like male family members, like cousins or uncles or anything around at all? Or
so, like, my mom would have her, like, guy friends come and hang out with me.
throw the old
Yeah,
pigskin?
and I'm, like, playing catch, and I, like, hated it. Like, let's watch Drag Race. It wasn't on yet. But, like, it just wasn't, like, my vibe. Like, we're going fishing, and I'm like, this is weird.
Did your mom like know your sexuality before or after you got into
Fully.
ice skating?
Fully. So
Before?
my mom tells me the story that I'm like 4 or 5 years old and I'm playing at the park and she's with my grandpa and they're watching. And my grandpa also, so my family, I'm so blessed and I'm so lucky to have such a supportive family. My grandpa says to my mom, as I'm like playing on this playground, he's either going to be really gay or really suave. And I was like, yeah.
Like how your mom, like most moms are like, no, he's just sensitive.
It's
But
just
your mom's just
gay.
like your mom's like, yeah, probably.
That's
She was your first bully. She was the first one to call you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I am so lucky to have the mother that I have, and she's so supportive, and she sends me ideas, like if I go back on Drag Race, and you know how sometimes they bring someone to like put them into drag. My mom, she has a disability, and she also has nerve damage in the side of her face, so it's like really sensitive to the touch. Like if the wind blows, it's like excruciating.
Oh, I
So
thought you were gonna say like a numbness, but it's like sensitive.
It's like, yeah, it's really sensitive, like painful. And so she sends me ideas, like if I have to do her in drag on like a makeover challenge, like
She's just planning fully like
a
a Phantom at the Opera.
like
Yeah.
something like, what if we did this and this and this? And I'm like, even like before Drag Race, like when I'm like, yeah, I'm auditioning, and well, what if we did this? And I'm like, one step at a time, mom. Like,
Yeah.
let's just.
You're like, Mom, I'm never gonna make it that far on Drag Race. Don't worry about it. But talking about like your ice skating and stuff, a lot of people don't realize that you actually are like a fairly accomplished ice skater in your own
Yeah.
right. What like was ice skating something like you always like yearned to do, or was it just something that you did because you're a kid in Wisconsin?
I wanted to go to the Olympics.
You wanted to go to the Olympics.
Yes.
So you're like, I'm gonna become one of the icicles. I'm gonna go to the Olympics. Like these things are gonna happen.
Yes. I wanted it so bad. We didn't have money growing up, and I was able to find, like, the way it's an anonymous sponsor who talked to my coach, who helped me take lessons so that I could take lessons and compete and do things. And I remember like getting up at 5:30 in the morning, walking 2 miles to the ice rink in Wisconsin snow so that I could have a lesson before school, and then I would show up to school. And after school, I would have to either go home and go do my homework, or I'd go to the rink. And it was just like, that was my life. Like, ice skating is something that, if you want to be an accomplished ice skater, it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And I was ready. I took that on. I'm like, yeah, I'm down to have this. So a lot of my friends were other skaters. I didn't go to school functions or events because sorry, I can't. I've got skating. And that was like my life. And then when college happened, like I said, we didn't have a lot of money. I had a few college grants because we lived in like Section 8 housing. Like, we didn't have, my mom, because of her disability, couldn't work like a regular job like other parents. And
So you're like duct taping butter knives to the bottom of some Converse, like very that.
But I worked at a gas station, a Shell gas station, from like 16 years old to 21. And with that and school, and now having to pay for rent and work, like, I couldn't take the time, and I didn't have the money to keep focusing on ice skating. And so that's when I started to bow out of it.
You were very much in like your Tanya Harding era, where it's like, because my understanding is like ice skating is like, it's very much like a lot of money involved in like ice skating, like new skates, like the tours, competitions and stuff. And so, a lot of like poverty-stricken kids
Yeah, it's
don't
very
make it far.
affluent. Yeah, it's a lifestyle, and I started to phase out of it, and I'm like, well, what can I do to kind of fill this void? And that's when I started like picking up dance, and then I segued that into ballroom dancing, and I did that for a while. But I've been getting back into skating, and I want to do it again. And I've even been talking with the other skating divas.
I was gonna ask. Let's talk about like Denali specifically. Someone was on your season. How devastated were you whenever Denali walked in and she was like, "I'm the ice skating drag queen."
I was gonna go in and talk about ice skating, but she walks in with ice skates, like that, looking like an icicle. Like that was her brand, and more power to her. I love that, but there's more to me than being an ice skater. I don't that.
Oh, but Denali doesn't have anything more. You heard it here first. That's all there is
She
to her,
walked
really.
in with ice skates and was like,
Yeah, that's
"I'm
fair,
the
yeah.
ice skating queen," and I'm like, sickening branding. I didn't do that.
No, you walked in and said you were gay.
I also did ballroom dancing, and I also did this, and I also did that, and I'm gay. Like, let me take that and run with that, and I can always incorporate ice skating in another way later. Like, I don't need that right now.
It's like that Willem Dafoe TikTok where it's like he's gay, but he also has an affinity for classical music. There's a lot of interesting things about him.
Yeah. Yes.
But was like dancing also something that you kind of like had an affinity for beforehand, or was it just kind of a love at first sight thing when you saw it at the Hypnotic Dance Studio, like
So I worked at this gas station.
the Shell,
What?
the Shell gas station?
The Shell gas station.
I listen.
And I hated it. I had a boss who would get wasted and was mean to me when he would get drunk. It was
Oh,
horrendous. And
the abusive relationship with your boss.
girl, it was crazy. And I was going to school full time, and I'm not one of those people who's just naturally good at school. Like, you remember going to school, and there's people who are like, oh, I did so bad. I got an 89, and like they didn't even study. You know what I mean? I would study and I would do my homework, and I was like struggling. I was a horrible test taker. Just school was just not one of my strong suits. But I was like, let me just show up and get all of the work done. I don't need to be a doctor, like, but let me graduate. And then I was going to college, and I took on too many credits. Like, I couldn't handle all of the workload on top of working full time. Skating has completely stopped now. And so every semester I would take less and less credits. Next thing you know, I'm taking like 6 credits, and I'm at this gas station doing my homework, getting in trouble for doing my homework from my drunk boss. And I'm like, this is not the life that I want to live right now. Like, I need to figure something out. And I was doing this dance event, and this really sweet gentleman comes up to me. His name is Greg Garrison. And he's like, I own a ballroom dance studio. Would you like to be a ballroom dance instructor? And I was like, no. He's like, have you ever ballroom danced? No.
Okay, so someone just like randomly approached you, asked you to be an instructor for a ballroom class, having no idea if you even danced?
Yes. So
Okay,
when
this
you
feels
were-
like a scam, but go on.
Right. So I worked at Fred Astaire Dance Studios for 6 years, and there's a curriculum, and they teach you the curriculum. Nobody knows the Fred Astaire curriculum unless you work for Fred Astaire. So they teach you the curriculum on top of also, this is how you teach someone how to dance. So you're learning the curriculum, you're learning technique, and they're not going to give you like a competitive ballroom student right off the bat. You're going to get like a wedding couple getting married next weekend who just wants to learn a box step. Okay, well, you know how to do a box step and you know how to teach it. Here you go. We're going to give you this couple. And just the longer that you're there and you come in early and you practice, and they encourage you to get a dance partner and do competitions and take coachings. And that's how you become more of like an accomplished, comfortable ballroom dancer, and you kind of grow with your students. It's actually quite lovely, but not for everybody. Long days. I remember like we have to go to the studio at like 8 or 9 a.m., practice for a few hours. We weren't allowed to practice during work hours. So then we would teach from noon to 9 p.m. And then we would meet up after the dance studio, and we would practice for like a couple more hours. And then on the weekends, you would drive 16 hours to fucking wherever to go to this competition to hope that you would place. And
So basically, you left ice skating and all the woes and struggles that provided to go into ballroom dancing, which was like even more like
It was crazy.
even more demanding
it was
on
crazy.
you.
And my boss, she was really difficult to work for. Her work ethic was really intense.
She was alcoholic. She was abusive.
No, but I feel like a lot of my success that I have today, I owe to her because I learned my work ethic. I learned like how to be a business person, how to talk to people, how to be likable, how to market yourself. And if you want success, you have to put the work into it. And this is how you do it. And working for her was really challenging. And some people would come in and they would last a couple days and then they'd be out. But the ones who stuck around, like some of us will talk to this day and we're like, bitch, that was crazy. But look what we're doing now, you know? And I feel like I applied a lot of these work techniques that I learned.
Not you
working
trauma
there.
bonding with people.
Yeah, fully, fully. I have at least one Fred Astaire dream like a month.
Oh my gosh. Well, how long has it been since you've been in the dance studio? Like how many years?
I stopped teaching 4 years ago.
Okay, so it's still somewhat recent.
Yeah.
The same way where it's like I used to do pageantry, which, well, you do pageant too, which we'll
Yeah.
talk about in a little bit. But I used to do pageantry. I haven't done a pageant since like 2019, 2020 probably.
Yeah.
But I still get dreams of like pageantry where it's like I show up and like I don't have my gown or a talent
gown
and I'm
dream.
on next. It's
I'm
always
on
the
next for
gown
gown
dream
and
where it's like,
and I'm naked.
yeah, like you haven't even started your makeup and you're next for gown.
What the Fred Astaire dream that I have. Oh, I don't have a tie, or I'm not shaved. 'Cause we had to have like our Latin pants, a dress shirt, and a tie. All the buttons done, sleeves all the way down, clean shaven face, and hair product, and a cologne or a scent. That was part of the dress code in our like manual. Girls had to have earrings, they had to have product, they had to have lipstick, and you're teaching a sport in these dress clothes that are tight fitting, and it was just long days. And if you didn't have a tie, they would take like $25 out of your check every time.
Damn.
It was crazy. And so I have this dream, like, I don't have a tie. Does somebody have a tie? And I'm
Yeah.
like, wake up. I text my friend Tara, girl, I had another Albina dream.
You're just waking up in a cold sweat at the thought of losing $25. Do you think like a lot of like the ice skating and ballroom dance skills that you learned really apply to like the drag that you do now?
Fully.
Fully?
Fully.
Because like a lot of like your performance styles, like when I'm watching, it doesn't really register as like, I don't think of it as ice
I'm
skating
not
and
doing like
ballroom.
ice skating. I'm not doing the cha-cha, but like I'm like lifting the way that I'm moving my hips and my rib cage, and like the way that I'm like styling my arms, and like we call it like the shampoo. You take your
Is that a
hand and
little
you put it
move?
here, and then you pull it like shampoo going down.
shampoo.
That's how I would teach it to my female students. Like
okay.
they do their underarm
Later.
turn, and I'd be like, "No, you're gonna take your hand and go all the way out, and then you're gonna shampoo around your head, and then you're gonna put it back." Ballroom dancing has like two parts to it. You
Okay.
have the technical part, and then you have the look
Okay.
fully. Because when you go to a competition, you have like 30 couples on the floor. All the judges are standing around, and each dance is only about a minute. And they have to scan the floor and pick their favorite dancers in a minute. So they don't have time to study the technique that you're doing and watch. They're going to look at what they like instantly right off the bat and go, I like that. And the things that stick out are things that they don't like. And they eliminate people in their heads by noticing things they dislike. So if you have a hole in your fishnets, you're not in the next round. Like, oh, a flaw. Okay, next. So you want to be as perfect as you can all around. The hair, the makeup, the whole aesthetic. And I feel like going into drag, I'm like,
disregarded
I
those
need to
things.
have fishnets. I need to have nails. The hair needs to be like this. And I feel like that gave me training on putting drag together.
I learned not to have holes in my fishnets. That's your takeaway
That's
from
the
all
big
those
one.
years.
That's the big one.
Honestly. Nah. Fuck it. Who cares? Performing for drunk people.
Yeah.
That's something different too, because I imagine like performing in like ballroom and ice skating, you're performing for a much more hoity-toity crowd,
Very.
as it were, as opposed to now performing at your bars in like Wisconsin and stuff to just drunk Midwesterners.
Yeah.
So,
I guess it makes it easier.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, the hoity-toity people are drunk too, but it's a different kind of drunk, you know?
Yeah.
It's a classy drunk, which is the same drunk but more arrogant.
I do have one thing, like, I feel like it's unfinished business. I feel like I left on really good terms with the company. And some of us still follow each other on Facebook, like some of the studio owners. And I would love to just have a full circle moment at one of their like big national competitions. Just like come back and do a sickening. I used to help choreograph production numbers back then for them. And just come back and do like a big production number, but in drag.
I was gonna ask if you were gonna do it as a boy or in drag.
In drag, and have eight of my male ballroom dancers just with me doing lifts and a whole show for like all of the students.
Yeah. And then they clock you because there's a hole in your fishnets.
There wouldn't be.
Oh.
And they'd have stones on them.
Shampoo.
Shampoo!
That's my takeaway. You can catch me in my next performances. I'm gonna do that move
Yes.
exclusively.
Yes, I would like 10% of the tips, please.
It's more than you make in a year.
At least the drink ticket.
But leaving ballroom, you actually left ballroom because of an injury. Can I ask, like, what happened?
So I tore my meniscus. I had already torn it once before.
For those who don't know big words, what is that?
Meniscus is a part of your knee.
Okay.
It's like a little, I think it's like a tendon, something. It keeps your kneecap, what's that, the patella? I don't know. Your kneecap, the top of it, there's a piece in there underneath that kind of keeps it together, and that's your meniscus. And so I tore my meniscus slowly over time. There wasn't like an incident or a fall where it just happened.
It's just the strain of all the dancing.
Wear and tear. And I had surgery on it. I think I was 20 years old. And then I moved to Arizona, and shortly after I moved to Arizona, maybe like 6 months in, I noticed that my knee was having really similar pains that I kind of recognized. And I'm like, I feel like this is related to the meniscal tear. I could tell that when I moved to Arizona, I had like been working on convincing my boss to move me out to Arizona. I was unhappy in Milwaukee, working with where I worked. I felt like I wasn't growing. I just needed something new. And I heard through the grapevine that my boss was going to be purchasing the region in Arizona. And I'm like, this is my end. Like, I didn't have money to like move somewhere. Like, it's expensive to get a moving truck. It's like thousands of dollars. And, but maybe if I can move with work, that can be a new fresh start, and maybe that could help pay for it. So she gave me $1,500 to move. I went to Arizona, and we were going to help me and my bestie Tara. And we go there, and I was like, I don't want to be on the floor. I don't want to be a teacher. I want to go into a more managerial position, an enrollment manager. I want to teach staff how to teach new couples coming in, and eventually open my own franchise studio. And my boss was just really busy. She was never around. And I was just back on the floor teaching, and my knee was bugging me, and then it was really hurting, and I couldn't dance on it. And so then I would have to call in because I couldn't dance, which means I wasn't making money. And I was like, I feel like now is not the time to pursue this. I feel like the dance studio is not going to happen. My boss isn't here. My knee's in a lot of pain. And if you're going to open up a studio, it costs a lot of money. You're signing your life off to make this happen. And I was like, this isn't it.
So you moved to Arizona for like all the dance stuff, but it was right around that time that like it all kind of like crumbled because of your injury.
Yeah, and I could have like remedied the injury. I wouldn't have been able to make money, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is life telling me not right now. So
like, this is life telling me maybe I should stop dancing so much, and then you got into drag.
Yeah. But you're not doing it like 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, minimally.
Yeah, it's like when God closes the door, you kick it back open.
Kick it back open, bitch.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with my boss, and I kind of used my knee as my scapegoat. So like, you can't take an injury personally. Do you know what I mean? And she's like, well, maybe you want to be a manager? And I'm like, I'm really checked out. You shouldn't have a manager who's like already has a foot out the door. Like, hire someone who really wants to manage a studio right now. I'm going to go to corporate America and sit at a desk, let this heal, and just see how that goes. And that's when I started doing drag a lot more, like booking more shows, because I didn't have to practice in the mornings. I didn't have to go to competitions every weekend.
I was going to say, as someone that did like ice skating and they went to ballroom dancing, I can't imagine you would have been content just sitting around corporate America with a desk job. So obviously that's when drag took off, like around that time.
Yes.
Talking about getting into drag, you went to your first gay club whenever you were 18, Five Nightclub.
Yes.
At what point did you actually start getting into like drag though? Like female drag?
So I didn't get into female drag until, I don't know, 2006, 7 years ago.
Okay. So you were like 29, 30?
No,
Calling you old.
I know. But if I was, sickening, right? Look at that.
Yeah, we have good filters.
I'm 38, bitch.
And what?
I started, so I remember going to the gay club. It's 18 and up night, and I saw these
Tuesdays.
on Tuesdays. You know how we'd get our drinks? So we had this chicken night is what we'd call it. It was Tuesday night, 18 and up, and we had a giant orange ski fence that would separate the bar and
We had a bar in Arkansas like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
people in the 21 and up bars would buy a drink and they'd sneak it across the line.
so we couldn't do that. Like they had that really, really monitored. And
Okay.
so they would go to the bar and get a shot of tequila and they'd put it in their mouth, go to the dance floor, and then they'd make out with us and they'd baby bird it to us, and that's how we got our shots of tequila.
Oh, is
Sickening.
that why they call it the chicken night?
No, get the drink night.
Oh, I don't know. You said baby bird. I was trying to make the connection. So, anyway.
But yeah, I love that. But yeah, that's
So your first shot of alcohol was,
through someone's mouth.
Yeah.
And it was tequila. And
and now you're together, and that's beautiful.
And I saw these two drag queens, and I was like obsessed. And they did this drag show. And looking at hindsight, like the drag was horrendous. But it was my first time seeing a drag queen, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
It's always more glamorous the first time. I remember my first drag show. I remember the drag queens. I still know them personally, and I was like, wow, this is the most stunning, glamazon, amazing thing I've ever seen. And now,
Yeah.
like, I go back revisit them. I'm like, oh,
Damn.
that's
Woof.
yeah.
I just really vibed with a lot of these queens and a lot of these trans women, and I would they'd ask me to dance for them, and I would backup dance or help choreograph their numbers or go to national pageants with them and dress them or help them rhinestone, and I just really vibed with these drag queens. And there was this one, and her name was Tempest Heat, and love her so much. I loved how she performed. I just got to see her a few months ago, and unfortunately, maybe 2 weeks ago, she just passed away.
Oh,
but
your drag mom, right?
she wasn't my drag mom, but I asked her if she could take me in as a little brother.
Because you adopted her last name as a male
I
drag
did.
character.
I did. So Tempest Heat, love her, and we're so sad when she passed. But seeing all of the love on Facebook, they did 2 news segments about her in the local news, and
Does she do a lot more for the community outside of drag?
she did a ton for the community. She had a ton of drag titles, and she was just one that was so grounded. In the drag scene, there's always drama this, drama that, and Tempest just always had it together. Just no bullshit, so sweet, calls it how she sees it, but it's was a really good person, and just was just so uplifting for the community. So they got a good one.
But as you mentioned, with her last name being Heat, it actually was the last name that you took on for your male persona.
Yes.
Of J.R. Heat.
JR Heat, baby.
Little baby
Little
J.R.
baby JR Heat.
So, but you did this before you started doing drag.
Yeah.
How did you get into this? And was it a lot of ballroom performances and
I
stuff?
didn't do ballroom yet.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh, so
God.
this is in between ice skating and ballroom. You did this little period where you were a male performer.
Yes. Yeah. So I remember I'm going to a drag show, and I saw another male entertainer, and it was the first time that I had seen one. And they weren't they had this elegant costume and this big fur coat and this hat, and they were doing what a drag queen was doing, and everybody was giving them money. Everyone, at least back home in Wisconsin, everyone gets up with their dollar and walks up to the stage and hands it to you. I feel that's kind of been going away lately.
Yeah.
You kind of have to go find your money at the shows. But back then, everyone would get up and walk up to the stage and give you $1. And I'm seeing this handsome man, not in drag, getting all this money. And I was like, I can do it, because I didn't want to do drag. Hip pads were terrifying. Seeing the queens in the back, I'd be in the back and I'd watch them do their makeup. They'd let me sit in the back and I could ask questions, and I was just in awe, but I could never do that. And then when they put the body on, whoo, spooky ooky, And I had no interest in that. But I could do that. And so I started doing that. And they're like, well, you have to have a name. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll be JR, I guess.
What did the R stand for?
Rydell.
Rydell.
Because Rydell was my brand of ice skates.
Oh yeah, like the sports brand. Okay.
Rydell. And so Jay Rydell, and then I asked Tempest if I could like kind of go under her wing and we would do like duets together. And she said, yeah. So I was JR Heat.
But with like male entertainment, like you took it really seriously. You even did like pageantry, and you even placed top 4 at Mr. Gay US of A.
I did. First time I was fresh 21.
But with how serious you were taking like male entertainment, what made you make that switch from male entertainment to drag?
So I stopped doing male entertainment. I was just like losing interest in it. And I was doing a lot more with ballroom now. Ballroom, it's like I said, with ice skating, it's a lifestyle. And I like couldn't afford to be like going like mentally going out to clubs and doing these shows for a few bucks when I had to be at the dance studio practicing. So I would come back every year for like Mr. Gay Wisconsin or do a number then or judge pageants. Actually, do you know the pageant that Trixie Mattel talks about when she gets the name Tracy Martell?
Oh,
And the
Entertainment of the Year.
hostess called her name out on the stage and was like, Tracy Martell. And so it's like this big inside joke. I was on the judges' table that night and the bitch fucking tap danced. And I'm like, first.
Oh, so the night that Trixie Mattel got the nickname of Tracy Martell, you were one of the judges that night. You got to
Yes.
witness history being made.
Girl, right. Did we know. But she fucking killed it.
And that little girl tap danced her way to where she is now on the Mount Rushmore of drag queens.
Sickening.
Yeah. Whenever you see Trixie doing some big project, like she's on some big new
You
TV
go,
show,
Tracy.
or she's on HBO, you're just like, I remember when that little girl was tap dancing under the name Tracy Martell. But how would you compare the experiences between being a male entertainer and drag queen, though? Like, how do they differ?
Especially back then, like, and I tried really hard to like, there would be a lot of male entertainers who at the time would like want a booking fee going out in like a pair of pants and a dress shirt with like 3 rhinestones on it. And it's like, you have to put a look together. So I would like take these tank tops or these shirts and I would rip them up and put chains on them and like rhinestone everything and do eye makeup. And that's one of the ones, but
What are these shoes? Wait, what are these shoes?
they are
Those like
Vans,
loafers? Oh, they're
loafers,
Van.
and I put stones around them.
They're rhinestone Vans loafers.
Yeah, girl.
This
I think I was
picture-
like 19.
This is like the most like 2009 picture I've ever seen. What was the song you did?
I think this is from the very first show I did. I did a mix.
Okay.
What was the name? It was For Your Entertainment by Adam Lambert. And How Low Can You Go? By Ludacris.
there it is, yeah.
Yeah. Ass up. Oh, girl.
What would you say you made more tips as, though? As a male entertainer, a drag queen, or a server at Longhorn Steakhouse?
A server at Longhorn Steakhouse, for sure. For sure.
Like getting that 20% on $100 meals.
Yeah. Yeah. Friday and Saturdays.
You said whenever you left Ballroom, you said you got a job in corporate America. Why didn't you just like go back to your job at Longhorn?
Thought about it. I loved working at Longhorn. And
Not too late.
It's not too late, girl. It's not. Should I do it like this? The mashed potatoes are extra.
It might be the most you ever get tipped as a drag queen.
That's not true.
But doing drag, becoming yet another Wisconsin girl to get the call for Drag Race, you walk into the workroom and the first thing out of your mouth is filler queen.
Yeah.
Have you always been like someone with the gift of foresight, or was
So when you go on Drag Race, I feel like everyone who gets on, they're already sickening. They're already pretty. They're already going to be great. And I feel like everyone would go in and be like as fierce as they could. And I'm like, what can I do that is going to stand out? These bitches are going to be.
you set the bar low? That's
Let's get into this. So,
okay.
what can I say that is going to catch people off guard, have a sense of humor to it, not take myself too seriously? And at the end of the day, like, I'd only done drag for a couple of years. I know I'm not going to win this, but we have this lovely platform. Let's take advantage of this. Filler queen. And it stuck. Like, what other entrance lines do you really, really remember from that season? There might be a few of them, but I feel like Filler Queen made a huge...
Pretty, you know.
Let me call it out before y'all call it out. You know what I mean? And I even remember, like, I was so nervous getting ready for the show. Because as you know, like they kind of put the fear of God in you. Like if you tell anybody, we're not going to have you. I reached out to a couple designers, but that's it. Because like I didn't have a lot of money and I was so nervous about people finding out that I was on. And then I get there.
Yeah, like I would rather go with whatever rinky-dink package
Girl.
I can throw together than to get kicked off before I can even start
Yes.
because people found out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because
Ditto.
I spent my money and I quit my job. So I'm shit out of luck. So I get there and I look around and I'm seeing everyone like unpacking and I'm like, oh, y'all didn't give a fuck. Y'all told everybody and had these teams come together and build these packages for
You're
you.
just watching Simone and Gottmik and even Utica pull out some of the most amazing garments you've
I
ever
remember
seen, and
saying
you're
to
like,
Simone,
oh,
I remember saying to Simone, I think it was during our business executive runway, and she's in this beautiful fucking pink suit. And I was like, oh my gosh, did you make this? And she's like, oh no, girl, it was a pull. I was gooped. I was like, oh, that's a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, but I mean, like when you have those resources or you live in a city like LA where there's all these showrooms and this and but amazing. I would have done the same thing, but we didn't have that. At least I didn't know we did.
you did the best a Wisconsin girl could do. You
Yeah.
give
But
it
I'm
your
proud
all.
of it. And you know what? Everyone likes storyline.
But whenever you got cast for the show, like the moment you got cast, did you really think I'm gonna be a filler queen? I'm not gonna go far. Like, did you have that self doubt, or did you have the delusion?
I was like, I had a little bit of delusion where I'm like, if I play my cards right, I could probably make a top 4. But when I got there, it was a very humbling experience looking around and just seeing everyone else's packages. And so I don't want to say like I was hard on myself, but I think I'm very realistic. And I understand the cards that have been drawn and I will play them to the best of my abilities. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to win this season. Why not narrate it? Why not fucking drink that Red Bull and turn it on and let's get up close and personal with this confessional camera and let's have a really, really good time. And let me be just a flaming queen
Yeah.
and just give off as much Joey as I can.
Yeah.
And I think I did that.
Yeah. I think you did a good job, like really showcasing your personality and like expressing yourself and your sexuality. Wish you didn't shove it down everyone's throat so much, but you know.
Some people like that.
But something I've noticed, like, especially with like newer seasons, is that what you get from the show is not as much as it used to be because there's so many girls now. People really want something that sets you apart. So if you're not top 5 or give them some crazy reason to make yourself bookable, it's really difficult for new girls going on the show, like leaving the show. What has your experience been as someone that was a second out?
So I had a manager at the time and he was doing a really good job getting me gigs, but then sometimes there would just be these gaps where like there wasn't anything. And you know what? I understand that managers have a roster and they have all these queens that they're trying to take care of, but like I'm in charge of my own success. Thank you for your help. I'm glad that you're here, but if you're not, why am I going to sit around and wait for the phone to ring? If you're not doing your job, I'm going to make the job happen. Or if you're not able to do your job, call me so I can fill the position. Or call me so I can figure out how to delegate this work. And if I see a slow time in my schedule, I make it happen. Like, let's work. I like working. I like staying busy. And I feel like a lot of queens, especially these younger and these newer ones, they sit around and wait for the phone to ring. And now that there's such a selection, like, be loud. Be clever. Come up with an idea. What is your stick as a queen? Like, I'm gay, right? So let's do a gay party. Like, let's play gay anthems all night long. I'll host the night. And let's just come up with a concept rather than book me. Because they're not going to book you if you say that.
But if you were to go back for All Stars, other than the fact that you wear wigs now, like what else would you showcase to the audience that you didn't get to before? Like what do you think that like you had in the chamber that you didn't get to show everybody?
So we never got a talent show.
Okay. You didn't do the talent show.
We didn't. No. Our first challenge was lip syncing.
Would you have done ballroom dancing? Little cha-cha-cha.
I wouldn't have done ballroom specifically, but my strength as an entertainer is doing production numbers. So my bread and butter is I work with dancers. We go in the dance studio. We choreograph.
So your bread and butter is to have 8 people behind you out dancing you and making
They're
you
not
look
out
good.
dancing me.
Oh, okay.
No, and I encourage them when we're doing a routine together. I say, don't tone down your dancing. Like dance as hard and as free as you want. Be yourself 100% because if you're going to outdance me, that's on me.
Okay.
So I tell them, like, give it your all, have fun with it, and if I can't keep up, I need to do better. But I love doing production numbers, choreography, graphics, lifts, getting in the studio. So I feel like I would do like a really high energy production number, but I'd probably try to showcase different things. We can do a couple lifts, we can do a little bit of a cha-cha moment, we can do something slow and pretty.
But with a talent show, they cut it down. It's only like a minute long.
Right.
So like, what would you cram into a minute long?
You have to be clever.
like with
Like song selection, like have your little intro. If you have a minute, okay, it's like a story. You have to have an introduction, like a beginning, a middle, and an end. Maybe a climax or two, depending on the length. So have your intro.
2 climaxes in 1 minute.
Baby.
Joey.
She knows what to do.
Anyway.
Have an intro, set the narrative, have a build up, have something really crazy, and then end on a really high note.
I love how you talk about it so vaguely, like you didn't know what you would actually do in the situation. You're just like,
No,
I would just.
mean, why would I tell you what I'm going to do specifically right now?
You're not going to get the call for All Stars. We're not going to see it anyway, so why not? You know?
But
We're not
still,
going
you know,
back.
when you see it, you'll see it. And, you know, I've
Okay.
got production numbers out there, and you'll get it. I think I would do something like that.
Did you ever do one of the ice skating videos with Denali? Did you ever do one?
No, I didn't.
Oh, she needs to get you on there.
I know I would love to do it.
'Cause, like,
I've been talking to her, and I've been talking to Milk, because no one's done an ice skating tour.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, there's like
How cunt would that be?
hockey arenas everywhere. It's probably little
Yeah.
things, little shows and stuff. That'd be a really good idea.
Yeah, or during the holidays with the outdoor rinks in like the downtown centers.
Like a Christmas show.
Yeah.
See?
Hanukkah.
Okay, last question. Probably the most important one. Is it true you once accidentally gifted your mom a bong because you thought it was a vase?
Yes. Did you talk to my mom?
I'm not talking to your mom.
How'd you find that out?
I know these things.
Oh my God, we were playing in the park, and we found this beautiful vase, and it had a bunch of duct tape wrapped around it, and we're like, we can clean this up, you know, and we come back. We found this beautiful vase for you, and my mom and her friend are like,
You just like
thank you.
you just
That's a bong. Took it. Did whatever they did with it to get rid of it.
like you just presented your mom with a bong with like a dandelion in it,
Oh,
and you're just
yeah.
like, I thought of you. Happy Mother's Day. So, what age were you whenever this happened? Like, how sheltered of a child were you? Were you like 5? Or were you like
no,
14?
I was in middle school.
And you didn't know what a bong looked like?
No, I was sheltered. I was an ice skating kid.
I guess
I
fair.
didn't know that house parties happened because I was never invited to them. I only saw them in movies.
They probably invited you, and you're like, sorry, I have to skate.
No, I was not one of the cool kids.
Damn. Do you regret taking ice skating? Do you wish you like
No.
hung out and socialize more?
No, I love it. Like, when I did Ballroom, it was kind of like, well, I'll do this instead, and it was not filling the void. But when I like go on the ice, it just I feel like ethereal and free, and like it's such a unique feel. It's probably a similar concept to like riding a horse. Like riding on a horse and like cantering is a feeling that you will never get from anything else. It's so specific, and there's so much movement and connection. Like on the ice, it's something similar to that. Like you can't replace it. And I love being on the ice.
So you really should have been branded as the ice skating queen. So
No, I don't think so. I think Denali did an amazing job as the ice skating queen.
yeah, but whenever like I talked to Denali, she was like, "Oh yeah, I liked ice skating. It's what I did. I want to go to the Olympics. Didn't happen. Now it's ice skate." But you're just like, I felt so free. It's where I belong. Nothing's been more cathartic than to be on the
I think
ice.
maybe one of the things is though, like I was kind of forced to stop. Like I couldn't.
Oh, because it was.
I couldn't keep going. It was too expensive, and I was working full time, but Denali, she was really smart, and she was able to make it lucrative. She did cruise ships, and I didn't have any opportunities like that, and so I think Denali as the ice skating queen, it's perfect. I love it.
Well, on that note, that is the last of my cards and the last bit of time that we have today. But I did want to give you something to thank you for coming in today. As we mentioned it before, for the little kid in you, I got you.
Something too.
Wait, hold on. Okay, we'll do my gift first. Or do you do your gift first?
What do you want? What do you want?
What do you
It's not that simple.
What do you want? I'll give you your gift first.
Okay.
So, for you, this is a collector's edition Blu-ray copy of Death Becomes
Oh my
Her.
gosh.
Unopened, mind you, on Blu-ray.
The Brave
What
Diva,
was
live
it-
forever.
What was it about that movie specifically that you loved so much? Why is that your favorite movie of all
It's just
time?
like I just love the writing in it. I love a dark comedy. Like, I love
ratings
Death Becomes Her. I love Adam's Family Values. I love Clue. Like, dark comedies, I think, like, the cast just nails it. Like, Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis. Like, oh, boy. But it's, like, serious. And it's like, this is so camp. I love it. She has a hole in her stomach.
Well, how old were you whenever you saw this movie? Like,
I don't know.
how old are you? Like, do you remember the moment you saw this movie and like your pupils dilated and something?
No, I don't think it was the moment. I think I really started to appreciate it when I was older and I understood a lot of the humor.
So the first couple of times you watched it, you're just like, oh, mom's watching another dumb
Weird.
movie.
Yeah.
And then one day you walk by the TV and you're like,
Or I remember watching The Birdcage.
oh,
I was
yeah.
watching The Birdcage with my grandma. And I didn't know anything they were talking about, but my grandma loved that movie. And then I like forgot about that movie, and years later, as an adult, I put it on, and I'm like, I can't believe my grandma let me watch this. But it all went over my head, but iconic.
That's how I felt about Tu Wong Fu. There's a lot of stuff in Tu Wong Fu that I didn't understand as a child. But also, too, I was confused because like they were men outside of drag and they're like gay men. And I was confused as a child from the South because I thought being gay was illegal. So I was just like, why are they allowed to do this in the movie? Like, it's crazy. Different experiences.
Can we talk about your ally sleeves?
Yeah. These little... had to represent today.
That's so funny.
Do you want to open the jacket so we can like represent today? Just for the thumbnail.
Yeah. Okay, so I know that you're not gay.
What is this? This is a necklace?
I'm gonna give you a necklace. It's my signature gay necklace.
Oh.
It's my handwriting with a little heart. It says gay with a little heart. And even though you're not gay, you are a member of the community, and I think it would look so cute on you. But you are an ally.
What is this?
It's an ally pin.
Oh, it's a pen?
Also with my handwriting.
Oh my gosh.
So
Was it handwritten? Oh my gosh. Maybe I can just like put it above like the necklace or below somehow. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
But I just figured you should have both of them.
Yeah. So
Both of them are available on My Best Judy.
mybestjudy.com
mybestjudy.com. If you want a gay necklace or an ally pin, they'll hook you up.
Am I allowed to wear this?
Yes, you are allowed to wear this.
I have permission. She
Maddie
said,
has permission.
she said I could wear this necklace.
Yes.
And say the F word. She told me I could.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Maybe we can get this on. Or maybe not.
With
Maybe
these nails.
like I don't know if I can with the nails, but I can definitely drape it over. Hold on. We're gonna make this happen.
5 minutes later.
One eternity later. Okay, so that's on.
Yeah.
Yes. And then just imagine.
Rich. Girl, you look rich.
Rich!
Yes, look at this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm definitely gonna put this on like one of my jackets or something so people know. Yeah.
You can go to when you go to Pride. Just so you know.
It's ally. Yeah, it's not enough that I tell everybody. I have to also like have it on my clothes.
Yeah,
so,
but it's cute, right?
I'm gonna be like that person at the bar that's like, I'm not gay, but it's cool if you are. That's very me.
No homo.
That's my drag.
Ally.
Yeah. Ally. Well, thank you so much. I think
Penny.
this is I think you are now the second guest who've gotten me a gift because Alaska gave me her perfume. Yeah, and now I have this. So hopefully this trend keeps going. I'd love to get more free stuff. So
get it going for
now
you.
that people are like, because like a lot of the guests that I had come on my show, but had never even watched an episode. But now people they see the episode, they know the vibe, and now people are returning the favors. That's what it's all about right here.
Be a smart queen, honey.
If you're not getting free shit, what's the point? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
You just got to pay partnership with Joey J.
But yeah, that is the last bit of time we have today. So Joey, where can people find you? Like, where are you out on socials? Do you have any like tours or shows coming up? Where are you performing at? Like, let people know like what's going on.
All of my social media handles are Joey J is gay, cause Avi, and I post all of the shows that I'm at in my stories. I say the cities, I say the dates, I tag all the dolls, and
Are you gonna be at DragCon this year?
I'm going to be at DragCon.
Gonna be at DragCon. Awesome. Are you gonna have another sponsored booth, or is you gonna do your own thing? You gonna be partnering with Utica again?
Yep, we're gonna do a booth together, and we haven't nailed down any specific partnerships for this year, but you never know.
Catch Joey J and Utica together at booth whatever the fuck number at DragCon this
Sharing
year.
a booth with someone is so great.
Is that the move?
It's the move.
I kind of like my space. You know?
Well, thank you for having me. It was
Thank you
an
for coming.
honor.
It's-
I was wondering what our first moment was going to be together. I was like, do we do like a gay versus straight, like an X-Men theme, like villains versus heroes, some type of battle show, or do we go on tour together and
we-
do like a?
Are we gonna like kiss or something?
No,
that'd be
I
crazy.
wasn't.
That'd be
No, I
crazy.
wasn't. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Oh
I know
my
you want
gosh.
the gay
Why would you
necklace, but
suggest that?
It's already
It's
kicking in,
Vase's
girl.
necklace.
It's okay, I douched.
Same.
Just in case.
Same. Ally. But you can find her at all those places. You can find me right here on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming guests. And join the Patreon so you can see some behind the scenes. And we're going to answer some fan questions soon, which you can find there as well. And yeah, but unfortunately, that is the last bit of time we have. So join us next time whenever we have somebody else.
Bye.
Yeah, bye, guys.
Let's go.
I can say that.
Why? What gives you the right?
I'm friends with some.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I know one or two.
There's going to be so many bleeps in this episode. So many
That'll be
expletives.
funny though, right?